Several of those fires that are burning on public lands across the West, like the Falls Fire in eastern Oregon, burning in the Malheur National Forest, like we mentioned. The Bench Fire near Redfish Lake, that's in the Sawtooth National Forest. Public lands and the management of them go back to the beginning of this country. There's one federal agency in charge of 1/10 of America's land. The Bureau of Land Management manages 245 million acres. 12 million of those are in Idaho. And today is the anniversary of the BLM, created on this day in 1946. That doesn't seem that old, I know, but the idea of managing land that is public is even older than our republic. While America's autonomy was declared on July 4th, 1776, the actual revolution to establish that independence didn't actually end until September 3rd, 1783. By signing the Treaty of Paris, America now had new lands south of the Great Lakes and east of the Mississippi. Well, new to us. 2 years later, the Congress of Confederation, what we called our government back then, adopted a land ordinance to allow the rectangular settlement of public lands. With our push westward, we increasingly had a plethora of public lands. The Louisiana Purchase in 1803 nearly doubled the size of the United States. By 1812, there was a need to centralize control of America's acreage, so the General Land Office was established under the Treasury Department. The Oregon Treaty with Great Britain in 1846 gave the U.S. chunks of the Pacific Northwest, including land that would become Idaho, more than 40 years after Lewis and Clark wandered across it. Then came the Homestead Act in 1862 and the Carey Act in 1894. Both would give away pieces of public land to promote settling the West. Settling would mean ranching and the need to feed livestock. So, in 1934, the Taylor Grazing Act granted grazing districts across all western states. They called it the U.S. Grazing Service. But it took President Harry Truman to take the two entities, the General Land Office under the Treasury Department and the Grazing Service under the Interior, and consolidate them under the newly created Bureau of Land Management on July 16, 1946, 78 years ago today. Idaho's first land office opened in 1868 in Boise. It bounced around a bit after that, moved and merged through the years and through the state. There were once 5 grazing districts in Idaho, most of them in the south and southeastern part of the state. And those 5 became the BLM district offices in 1946 when it was established. So today there are 4 BLM districts. That'd be Boise, Coeur d'Alene, Twin Falls, and Idaho Falls, managing again almost 12 million acres of public lands across Idaho, which is nearly a fourth of all land in the Gem State.